I will mute you all, and I am keeping on my end, I'm keeping us on gallery view so I can see all of you, so I can actually get a better idea of some of the things you're dealing with. I'm just looking at you, Arlene, to kind of get a concept of what's going on. You've shared that your upper back gets very tight. So let us be lying down, waiting for Linda. And the breath can go in many, many different directions. So there's no one way that people breathe. And I know there's all these techniques saying, you must breathe like this, you must breathe like that. It's a fractional orientation to what breath does. Breath keeps us alive. So people breathe in the way they know. Now, right now, I would like to practice some things that we've spoken about before, which is actually taking the diaphragm and pushing it downwards. So I'd like all of us just a few times to push down. It's almost like if I'm coughing, we press down and or go to the bathroom to be graphic. I'd like you to get in touch with this ability to press down and it widens a little bit. So see if you can press down a few times. And press down. And now press down and see if you can hold it. And as you inhale, send the breath all the way down into the pelvis. So you create a bit of a swelling. And what we're doing is creating a tubular wrapping around of the transverse abdominis. It's the most superficial or external band of muscle. And for if you're an archy type, I want you to send the breath into the QL area. Actually, for all of us. For Ruthie, you want to keep the little bit of an anterior tilt. You want to actually focus on this shape and then breathe without flatness. So you actually create the length going down, not the length going up. That's the tricky part. We want this lengthening and sending our energy down. So take a few breaths and see if you can really get this feeling. And start to feel how there's a sense of a corset in here that keeps your lumbar spine quite long. Different from tucked. That's a tucked position. We're just creating length in the low lumbar area or waist area of the body. And starting to push down. So for some people, I'm just talking as you practice, they take the air up high. I'm one of those ones that I've spent a lot of time now retraining, breathing upwards, and we're kind of pulling the energy up. I want you to inhale and push the energy down, and it actually creates a widening of the pelvic floor if it's done right. So diaphragm and pelvic floor move down, and you girdle. So if you're an inflator in the upper body, I sometimes will put a weight and hold the ribs down. So there's nowhere to go but down, or you can't breathe. So you want to feel that. In fact, if you put your own hands on your ribs for a minute, low rib, see if you can inhale without this part, the sternum going up. So just take a few breaths and see if you can kind of figure it out and notice what's happening in your low back. If it feels different. So if you hold tension in the low back, you may start to be able to ease up or make spaces in new ways that allows those muscles to relax and lengthen. Because we're always wanting to decompress, but the energy is in a down direction versus an up direction. And this is not like the only way to breathe and the right way to breathe. This is one of many. As you practice, I want you to start to get a sense of how there's a bit of a corseting here that you can kind of hold. It's like you're creating a belting around this waist area. to give you stability. When people go to the gym and work out and they have lower back problems, they will often put a corset on to protect their back, not realizing that they basically not been protecting their back with their own anatomy, which is designed to provide that. They've just been moving incorrectly, so they're starting to trash the lumbar spine and the discs and the vertebrae there. So just be in touch with that. See if you can find this firmness, and just for a minute, I'm taking my hands out of the way, lift one knee and then the other knee. See if you can be holding the weight of the legs fully in this corseted shape rather than in gripping here or hip flexors. Put one foot in, one foot down. Reconnect if you've lost something. So for you, whcih, very slightly posterior tilt, but still this front abdominal working, and lift and lift. Hold it. So probably the other ones, and then down and down. Holding. Now see if you can actually lift the legs, not from hip flexor. They're going to work a tiny bit, but the majority of the stress should be coming from the abdominals. Lifting, very good. Floating the legs back. I invite you to also put your hands down here. You can actually feel these low superficial or surface muscles activate. So see if you can feel them activate as you float the legs up. And as you float the legs back down, they should be working very hard. You should have no tension in your back. 2 more times like this, lifting. So they've been girdling around the whole abdominal waist area, and down. And one more time, lifting. And down. Very good. So for you, Arlene, this will be interesting because I think you're used to really gripping in the butt as a solution. See if you can kind of back off on that. There's a function there, but start to throw more work into here so that your upper back can start to extend and the support is coming better, just for future thinking about your own physiology. Now, from here, lift the legs. Keep this nice integrity. See if you can come into happy baby pose. So what you want is not to fully lose the abdominals and just slightly start rocking side to side. So what we're doing is keeping the stomach long and active while we're starting to loosen up the legs. So we're not just indulging in being flexible, a sin I have been guilty of all my life. Forgive me, I'm making a joke, of course, but we're actually really addressing the physiology as we do this. Now, take one leg, stop in the middle and see if you can extend. You're not looking to be straight, and bend back, and the other leg, and bend back, and the first leg. So you're still keeping your lumbar spine long, or your waist area long, as you're starting to ask the limbs to start to get longer. Now, take one leg out, see if you can roll the opposite thigh to the floor. And then come back and roll in the opposite direction. So just take your time working this movement, lengthening, spreading the legs as though you're a happy baby, just playing around, and start to see what's happening. In my case, one waist area tends to want to go short, so I'm using my abdominal muscles not to let that happen. So I'm opening the hips in a more intelligent way. Pause in the middle. Extend the legs a little bit, back and forth, bringing them out and in. Lengthening the hamstrings without shortening in the lumbar spine. Now see if you can kind of circle the legs a little bit. You can rock side to side. I'm going to lighten up and do it more from my ankles. And reversing it. Notice that my elbows are inside the knees, so the kneecaps are facing out. So double check. We're going to come back to this in the middle in a minute. Come back again. Hold your feet, your big toes. Notice that the knees are out, the hands are in. Now, very often, this is something I can't see as people take their legs straight. The knee rolls inwards. So just check, take one leg at a time and see if you can keep the knee slightly outwards. Each of us has different patterns. Now, interesting, take one leg. Can you roll it in a little bit? Whoa, my chair's in the way. And back out. Take the other leg and can you roll it inwards? And back out. First leg, rolling it in a bit. And out. And again, constantly watching that so that it isolates into the hips more and you're not kind of really torquing your body. I have to shift my hands a bit to get this to start to open. And I'm moving my hand to the outside. So just play around. There's no right or wrong way. You're basically starting to get the hips to move in internal, external rotation to get them open. Very good. Bend the knees in. Take a moment, reconnect with this sense of a lovely long spine. I'm going to kick my chair out of the way. And whoa, lengthen your legs out. From here, we'll start rotational work. So you'll be lying on your back with your arms out to the side. Take one arm up, look at the hand, lift and just start rolling over so you reach, as though you're trying to reach one hand towards the other. And then back. See if you can keep your hips heavy and lazy and kind of connected to the floor. You're reaching, trying to get somewhere. The hip may come up a little bit, so don't try and be completely robotic, but you're looking to start to stretch out the rotational aspects in your body and get them to kind of wake up with very strong stabilizers, a lot in the waist, in ribs. Just lengthening out. And then come back onto your backs again. Check that there's a little bit of connection. Your spinal shape will be moving around quite a bit. And bend one knee up. Now when you come on over, use the foot to start to push and see if you can get a sense of your glute working a little bit and open out. So we're going to do this one movement. The chest works first and then the foot helps you. Roll. So stay on the same side a few times, starting to get used to when I'm getting into the foot, I'm really pushing down. So I'm using the foot in the leg as a power. And waking up that glute and the whole lower chain in the leg to make the movement start to happen. Then you shift and do the same on the other side. So the foot is bent, the arm comes up first, and then you push. The arm reaches and then you push. You probably will find that one side is much more functional than the other. We're all kind of rotated in one way more than the other. We want to be aware of it because it just helps to kind of know how to focus. So just keep making sure this really is getting pushed from the leg. Then extend the leg out. Bring the arms a little bit over the head now. And again, bring your first leg up. And this time, you're going to push and roll all the way over to the stomach. Once you're here, you'll lift the arm, lift the chest, and then pull with the arm to get yourself back in your back. Hi, Kathy. Just join on in. So the leg bends, same side. We're going to do the same side a few times so you can start to get all these mechanics happening. And over. And then lifting, spiraling, and rolling back. Again, just back and forth. So same side, so you start to really feel and loosen up whatever you need to. One more time. This way, work it over, stretch out the tight spots. Notice it's a lot of this. You're actually moving, you're like a weight, and you're attempting to figure out how do I get all of this weight from one place to the other. Babies go through this whole pattern when they're starting to move and lift. So the hands come up, you reach to opposite side now, using the leg to help you, and you roll down. Your head is up. Now when you come back, look in the direction of the hand to come back. So then to just again, back and forth, same side. And one more time. And now let's all of us come over and onto our stomachs. And I have, yeah, here we go. So now here you are, your arms are extended in the front. And we'll start elbow, elbow, up like into Sphinx, and down, and down. So just same side, I'm sorry, elbow, elbow lifting up, down, and down. Notice that as you press up, you're going to shift your weight onto that elbow, onto the elbow, down, and down. One more time, first side, elbow, elbow, down, and down. Now reverse it, elbow, elbow, down, and down. Elbow, elbow, down, and down. Elbow, elbow, down. And let the body roll with this a little bit so you're really, again, lengthening all the tissues. Now, I'll do it towards you for a minute. Just lift up on one elbow and look in the direction of your feet. So you're twisting over and down. Press and lift and down. Press and lift and down. Press and lift and down. Now press and bring your knee up. So your knee and the elbow are coming close to each other, and you're looking downwards and down. Elbow and knee, 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 and down. Hold on a second because I made a list of all of our progression. Okay, so now we'll add going a little higher. So elbow, elbow, and then wherever hand and hand. So we're coming up, you could say to a cobra, elbow, elbow, and hand. Elbow, elbow, hand. Hand, elbow, elbow, hand, hand. So alternate this. Elbow, elbow. Now let's all of us come up to the elbow for a minute. Very often when we lift up onto the hands, unless you have a very flexible back and a stretched out stomach, the hips come off, which is totally fine. I would like now, remember the abdominal work we were doing where you corset your stomach? When you come up, I want you to really support. So you're holding, you're not, so that whole trunk is lifted, yes. And it's supported. So how much of an arch you have is less important than that front support. Back and down and down. Up and up. Just already start to feel. Let's pause here because this is really, most people sag into their backs and they don't have that front support. Just for a minute, can you actually lift with the abdominals lifting you? Yes, yes, yes. You want to make sure that front is working. Right, so from here, when you go up, activate. Even if you have a curve, activate those abdominals, back and down and down. So that's our progression, up and up and up and up and down and down and down and down. So alternating side, up and up, down, 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 down. One more time, up and up and up and up. So just, that's it. Now this time, we're going to come up and stay up. So see if you can stay up and just rock yourself. Oh God, just stay there. No, stop it. Once you're here, just roll from side to side. Support your stomach so you're not completely just crashing into your lower back, and roll from side to side and look backwards. So the hip, one hip is rolling down and the other hip is rolling up, and you're supporting yourself on your hands. And now look to one side and see if you can bring your knee up. And back. And 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 knee up. And back. Knee up. And back. Now, one knee and one knee. Back and back. Knee and back. And now knee and knee interstated. So from here, start just rocking to get a bit more bending in the knees. Knees can be very tight for us. And check if you're supporting your lumbar spine, so you're not over arch, not over curve. So we start to really throw the hinge into the hips. So that all around the buttocks, you're just looking to get as much of this happening. And then see if you can come all the way back. I think this is where Kathy, you will need to get yourself a pillow or two. So I'm just checking, Linda's fine, all of you are fine. Kathy, you will definitely need, so just take a moment and rock your body back and forth. Kathy, it's fine to be here. You're just looking to get a little bit, in your case, a little bit of this feeling. So you're getting more into it. Those of you that have good, you're able to sit, just feel the difference in the weight shift forward and back, and see if you can hold it so as you go back, you're not rounding. So you hold the spine like the whole body is a unit, so that it's asking this. That's it. This is good, Kathy. Right. That's the idea. Now, Kathy, can you sit down on the pillow so you get a little bit more upright, or is that out of the question? It's out of the question. So, okay. So this is what some of you will do. The ones that can sit, what we're doing now, Kathy, I'll give you some pointers in a minute. You're going to go from side and up and side. So we're just back and forth, starting to open up the side of the hips. And Kathy, for you, maybe more forward from side to side this way. We're starting to wake up some other muscles. And if you're able to, you want to be more vertical. If you're able to. These take a while for the body to kind of get open the right way. Now let's have all of you stop in one side. So Kathy, off to one side, so one hip is down. And for you, Kath, let's get you up on a pillow. So your buttock is on a pillow. Because from here, what we're going to do is take this knee and open it. So you're out and you're looking to be right. So very often this hip is high. You're looking to just use your hand to get it down. If your hips have really got a lot of internal, external freedom, then you can get right into it. So you just want to get back, bring the leg back. Take it out. That's it. Bring it back. See if you can lift and put it out if you're able to. And back, so I have to support myself. I'm not totally up to it. And one more time out. And now bring the legs out. Actually, we're coming back and we're going to just roll to the other side. So come up in the middle, check. You probably are starting to get a little bit looser in the thighs and come to the other side. Once you're on the other side, open. and close. And open. So some people can open with no hands. I still have to help myself quite a bit. And close, especially this side. The more tight the hips feel. So this is where it's interesting. Let's pause here for a minute. We have our two sit bones and our pelvis. In a really nice anatomy that doesn't have problems in this area, those two sides sit, and then the bones of the legs are internally externally rotating. But you know, we're not all perfect here. So sometimes I will work this really up high so I can get my pelvis down and I'm working at the angle my body is ready to. So just kind of see what you want, and it's also fine to be kind of slanted to one side. Like this high, I'm even, and the kind of force is working in the way. So yeah, Eileen, for you, it looks like you're thrown to one side. So get that hip up higher. It's just an interesting experiment to start to kind of find out where you're at and just then start going back and forth. And open. And close. And open. Totally fine, Kathy. It's fine to be back here because it's really, again, we're basically WD-40ing joints that maybe haven't moved for a while. Now from here, you turn this way. See if you can take this foot, see how I turned it out, and roll up, and then go to the other side. So this is called windshield wiper. So now this foot is turned in, the other foot's turned out. See if you can get lifted in the back, if you can. And other side. I'm going to raise my buttocks up now. So I'm a little bit higher. So I'm working more even into my two very different joints. Back and forth. Yes, 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 Linda. If you can do this without hands, power to you. So later on, this is literally something that people can do just by moving their legs around. So now we have a cute little choreography, the back leg, bring it in, roll over, open the top leg out. I'm going to get back in camera view. So I'm going to go in a little circle here. Windshield wiper, close, roll over, open out. Windshield wiper, close, roll over, and open. That was an interesting thing happened there, Eileen. I'm not sure what you did, but something. Now we're going to reverse the circle. Close, roll the other way. So you roll over, open. I'm lost. Something went wrong for me. So I don't know what I did because now I'm back to the other way. So you open, you open. Oh, I know, I forgot my windshield wipers. So I'm going to close again. And then I open. Now here, once you open, you windshield wipe. Then the back leg comes to the front. And you roll over it. So you go. So no, Eileen, you're doing it wrong. You're missing, you know, I'm on one side. My knees don't move. My body rolls over the top. That's right, yes. One more time, whichever direction you were at, open. Windshield wiper, close, and roll. All right, just for a minute, stretch your legs out and bounce your legs up and down because this is a lot of work loosening up the knees. The knees should be starting to feel, I hope, looser and a little bit more lubricated. There's a lot of grippy tightness that we hold here and we want to loosen that. I'm just checking for a minute. Okay. Now, let's come back to a figure 4 sit. Take the back foot and pull it backwards. See if you can take the front leg and bring it up. Front knee comes up, right? This leg, can you bring it in? So it's kind of closer. Now this one's going to be tricky, but wonderful. You're going to lift and pop your bottom down on the other side. Lift. So Kathy, for you, if you can, and maybe you wait it out. So you're basically rolling over, back and forth. You're really loosening the joint, including the foot, big time. So Kathy, for you, even just holding, so you the rest of you, see if you can keep going. You have a pillow, so just sitting, stretching out the fibers a little bit if it's possible for Kathy. So I'll just do it on a pillow. Actually, this works really well. Just a little bit back and forth. Now, here we are. If you can, you're in an internal rotation, and you can be way up. Take this foot and flex it. Bring the knee up. So you're in the beginnings of a squat. Right, and just with your hands, rock in and out. So we have 3 hinge joints. We have the joint here. So a lot of tightness builds up in our shins. And you want to start to see if you can feel the connection of the knee to the feet. And you place the angle of the feet at the level that you're ready. If I go too straight into anatomically perfect, it's too much. So a little bit of an openness for my body. And then come back down. And we're going to shift sides. So windshield wiper to the other side. Pull the toes under. Bring this knee up. I can't remember if we did both sides or not. So give me a thumbs up if we did both sides or a thumbs down if we didn't do. That's what I thought. Thank you. And we're just going to start going side to side. So be careful here. You may have to be up. So just moving, basically, this is what the movement is. And we're asking the tissue to start to open a little bit more. So it can be in the foot. It can be definitely the shin, all the connections into the knees. Then come down. Wow, this side. Get yourself into a flex position. So I have to be way on the side. This leg is supposed to be up. There's no way I can do this without a big pillow. I need a big, really big pillow here. But see if you can get into this position, both feet flat, and start to and then come down and come into a cross-legged position. Thank God, right? Hold on a minute. I got a cramp and let me check my notes here. So from here, let's just come up onto our hands and knees. Reconnect to this whole sense of a real strong abdominal support. This is the tricky thing. When people really work and keep this part of their back long, they usually round it in the upper back. When they get the upper back long and activated, so the muscles in the ribs are working, they're arching and contracting in the lower back. So there's this dance of support here, but staying long, and get your toes under. See if you can lift your knees up. So you want to have your weight just back and forth now. Yes. Then bring the knees down for a minute and see if you can sit back. Great. If you can't and you're here, that's also fine. Now we'll start doing a little bit, bring yourselves forward. And now we'll do a little bit of hand foot crawl. So one, my knee and my hand get close together and the other the distance. And then I do the opposite. And then I go back, and back, and back, and sit down and rest for a minute. Again, forward, lift, walking on your hands and knees, opposite hands, opposite, and moving back. And sitting back. One more time. Forward and forward and forward and back and back and back and sitting down. Now from here, come back, bring your feet up in front and your hands are behind and lift up. And just side to side, so your weight bearing into your hands. And then your feet on the floor, I want you to think of your heels and your buttocks, kind of pull yourself in and press yourself out. See if you can get a sense of contracting the back chain of the body. So the calves and the hamstrings work a little bit to do this movement. It's tricky because if we're very flexible, we can just do it without the muscles kicking in, but we want to wake them up. And then see if you can walk backwards a little bit and forward a little bit. And again, moving towards a squat. See if you can get yourself a little bit more, you may be a little bit looser. One more time, back, and back, and back, and forwards, and again, walking. Now, if you're not able to balance with your heels down, get whatever you need. Kathy, you may want to roll up your yoga mat or get some books or yoga blocks. So you have the equivalent of being with your heels elevated. That's going to make it a little bit easier to possibly be with your body weight over your feet. So we're really wanting to get this position where the body weight is over the feet. Kathy, if that's not a possibility for you, let's get you back. You have a chair nearby, somewhere where you can be here and your bottom is resting. So for those of you in the squat, we want to be able to be relaxed here. This is not a muscular gym squat where we're activating. This is actually eventually a rest Here. So from here, get your elbows inside and see if you can rock forward a little bit and back. Now, when you're rocking forward, see if you can keep the heels down so it stretches the Achilles and stretches the muscles in the front of the shin bone. So we're making even more of a corner. So just kind of be aware of that hinging. So that's it, Kathy. Come a little bit more in so I can see you. So you want, for you, Kathy, you want to be as close to the front of the chair and your feet almost behind, in between the chair deep. So we want as much corner as you can make and just start to come forward and back. That's it. Now, Kathy, for you, lift your chest. Actually, for all of us, how much can we lift our chest? Can we get our hands in between our knees and one hand going way up? So one hand is reaching and the other hand, I hope, is touching the floor. Actually, very good, everybody. Bring the hand down. Other hand goes way up and down. First hand way up, really lengthen. See if you can feel this sense of the hips dropping as you lift and down. And other hand up and down. Now I'm not, Kathy, can you bring your feet even more back under the chair? Yes, so we get as much bend, even if the heels are up a bit. Yes, and bring your bottom a little more forward. Now, this is a thing we're going to do, and you want to feel the weight into the heels, because normally, as best you can, you're going to push down with the heels to stand up. Yes, and then reach with the hand and come back down. Very good, change. Other hand goes up. Use your legs to push from the heels all the way up. Good. Make sure once you're up, get into your heels, get back into the heels, and then go down. See if you can stay in the heels. Again, push. And come down. One more time, push. Nice, everybody, and come down. And this time, just come up with both. Come up to standing. I'm adjusting the camera. The camera is my biggest challenge now. So here we are standing, and you can't see my lower body, but come on up on your toes and reach your arms up. So you're up, the heels are off the floor, and now start reaching, and you'll probably find yourself walking. So you're shifting weight, and you're reaching up, and look between your hands. It's as though you're trying to reach up towards something as you're reaching and up and up. And just step from side to side up on the toes. Now you're going to go up, and I'm bending my knees to come down and come up. I'm bending my knees, bringing my heels down to come up. So it's almost like you're coming down from a high position and up. That's it. And down and back up. And down and back up. And you're all better than me because you're staying in one spot, but that's okay. Now we reverse. The arm is going back and up. And back and up. And back and up. I got mixed up. Back and up. Back and up. Very easy now. And back and up. And bring the hands down. And I think this will be fine. Trying to adjust the camera. So now you're down, your feet are down, and I want you to bounce. So the heels are lifting and lowering off the ground. And see how relaxed you can make your body. So you're just like, the knees are soft. Soft knees, bounce, 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 bounce. So you're just letting everything shake out, and then right to left. So you're just kind of this little easy, jumpy, loosey-goosey sort of prance. As much as you can, you want the feet very relaxed. And then pause, stand up both feet, take a deep breath in, and breathe out, let everything go. Excellent. Let's all of us now, just to see for fun, we're just going to do a little bit of the sun salutation because we loosened up massively with the whole body. So let's just see what the traditional movements feel like, because there's been a lot of changes that we applied. So this has been a little trouble. Bring the hands together. Forgive me for a minute. I'm going to shift my view. Just give me a second. So I can adjust my camera differently now. Yes, perfect. Okay. Bring the hands into prayer pose. Just hold on a minute. This new system, I have not totally figured it out yet. Okay, this will have to be. So bring your hands into prayer. Now, can you find, this is my pattern. I'm an archy type. So I tighten these muscles and I think I'm fantastic. That's the old me. I'm really wanting to create this length here. Now it's not a top. The shifting of the pelvic position does mean it's going down a bit, but I'm looking to get more length in the lumbar spine, and then the natural curves of the body happen. So see if you can get a little bit of support into the lumbar spine. Really, for you, I want this. For the rest of us, then can you get a length, but not by hiking the rib cage up? This is a different muscular pattern. Notice if I open, I shorten. This is the tricky part. You want the length, and then you want what's called an extension. So these muscles are lifting. We're taking the spinal column and we're elongating it from the back, not so much from the front. The front just creates this corset. See if you can find that in yourself. So keeping that integrity, open the arms and roll, and then widen them, but keep them kind of long and expanded. Bring the arms up over your head. So this is the old me. This is the new me. And then hinge. So pause halfway. Check that you're getting as much extension as possible, but you're holding the weight from here versus arching. That's different. So you're keeping the spine long, and then the hinges have to come from the hips. So can you stay long as you come down and then in? Lift your head, extending out, getting that upper back to start to kick in more, and take your right leg back. And then your left leg back, and now here we go. Let's see if we can find the support of the stomach, long back. So when people support the stomach, they round. When they get the upper back long, they arch. So can you do a bit of both? Bend the knees, lower yourself to the mat. And from here, lift a little bit, so you lift into serpent. Now support the stomach, the back of the stomach, and then lift up. So wherever you get to, lift your head to the ceiling. Go back down. And push the down dog. Now just take a moment here, just enjoy it. We've been doing so much work, loosening things up and kind of shifting the energy. See what's available to you now. Creating as much length through the spine as you can. And then lift your head and step your right leg forward, getting length. Left leg forward. Make sure the weight is back into the legs, and you push up from the heels the way we just did. Sweeping the arms up and over your head. And bring the hands to prayer. Again, open the arms out. Sweep the arms up. Swan dive all the way down, lengthening. Remember, it's a hip hinge, and the back is supported from the abdominals. Lift your head and lengthen out. Lower down and step your left leg back. Step your right leg back so you're in a nice plank. And in whatever way works for you, lower to the mat. Serpent. Cobra without collapsing into your lower back. And up to the ceiling. Lower back down. And down dog. Pressing back nice and long. Take a few moments here to work the joint. We've done so much opening. See how much length you can get into. Lift your head and look at your hands. Notice how much I've already shifted forward, and bring your left leg forward. Bring your right leg forward. Lengthen down. Lift your head and chest and extend out. Lower back. And can you support your back with your abdomen? Bring the arms up over your head. And back to forward. So one more set, just flowing. Arms out. Hands up and over the head. Swan dive. Lengthening out. Stepping back. Back to plank. Lower to the mat. Serpent. Cobra. Up dog. Lower back down. Push back into your down dog. Step forward with your right leg. Step forward with your left leg. Lengthen out. And lift yourself up. Hands over your head. And the prayer. And last side, opening with the left, open out. Hands up. And long all the way down towards the mat. Head up. Lengthen down. Left leg goes back. Right leg goes back. Find your plank. Lower to the mat. Serpent. Cobra. Up dog. Lower back. Push into your down dog. Bring the left leg forward. Bring the right leg forward. Lift your head and chest up. Lower back down. And lift yourself up and over your head. And come to prayer. Let's have you all come down onto the mat. Coming back into just a nice long-legged position. So again, we did a lot of work into this to see how much we can release in the hips. So when you go forward, can we get, let's all of us, if you have a strap, you can take a strap. Let's all of you get a strap for me. Once you have the strap, I want you to really work the flex. So when we're doing the squat, the joint has to bend a lot here, and this whole shin bone has to lengthen in a certain way. Now, the opposite of that is that when we're in the squat, the calf has to relax to allow this to happen. So in your imagination, when we're doing this position, see if you can get a sense of the length in the heel And the bend here, people usually think of this from the toes. Can you get a sense of this releasing down there? And then the sacrum going up. And can you find the support and use the strap to not overextend? This is an overextension. That's already into your back bend. Can you get in touch with these big, strong muscles that run between the shoulder blades to hold the rib cage up? So really there's a pillar in the back body. The backbone becomes a whole pillar and the front is very relaxed on top of it. So hinge in the ankle and then lift. Once you have this, start working yourself forward. Take your time because we're not going deep today, we're going long. You want that whole back working in this length. Just hold the position. There's a point where your back will round. We don't want to go there. We want to create the length today. So we're working into this, lifting the stomach or the front abdominal area, supporting, and we create length, but not an arch. So subtle. I hope you're really like getting into how to have these pillars inside your body. And then come back. And then back on your back and back to our happy baby again. So lying on the back, find this certain amount of blocking too much movement in here and get into your big toes or your feet, elbows up the side, arms up, feet are up, and again side to side, evening out all the tension in the lower back area, those muscles that run on either side between the pelvis and the rib cage. We're in time looking to get longer and longer in there. And then one leg lengthens, and back. The other leg lengthens, and back. Again, lengthening out, and back. The other leg, and back. Now as this leg lengthens, you roll towards the bent knee. And back, rolling towards the bent knee. Roll. And roll. And again, long in the legs. So I'm hoping we're not looking to lock out the knees, that you're really getting in touch with certain areas that you're finding more length in without jamming into the joints and hardening the muscles. But we're keeping this long spine. So babies, if you ever have the privilege of seeing one, of very much, their spine is very long and they don't compromise it. Then they just explore the range of movement of the limbs, and it's how they build up this lovely long, strong nervous system that eventually allows them to crawl and then eventually to stand and then to walk. So very, very interesting biomechanics that they go through. And then from here, get your feet down, set yourself up for your Shavasana, and allow yourself to relax. We did a lot of work today, different work, so the body went through quite a few changes. So relax into the position, enjoy the sensation in your body. Relax your feet, your shin bones, your thighs. Feel them all dropping into the floor, very heavy, very soft, very loose. Relax your glutes and your belly and your lower back. So whatever it wants to do, let it do now. This is it. The control is over. Let your body just be and give it up. Relax your diaphragm, your stomach, your back, your shoulder blades. Let them be soft and heavy. Let gravity influence you in whatever way your body will receive it. Feel the arm bones heavy and soft, the shoulders soft. the arms, the forearms, and the wrists and the hands very delicately resting. Relax your shoulders and your neck and your throat inside you. Relax your chin and your jaw and your tongue. Relax your lips and your cheeks. Relax the eyes in the socket and your ear canal. Relax the skin of your forehead and the skin at the top of your skull. And allow the top of your head to feel as though it's opening. Just rest in this position. Notice the breath. And see if you can be empty and full all at the same time. And now gently curl your fingers and your toes. And when you feel ready, bend the knees and roll to your right side. And slowly bring yourself into a cross-legged position with your hands on your knees. Keep your eyes closed and just check in to how your body feels now. How do your joints feel now? How does your breath feel now? How does your inner space feel now? And to finish, let's bring our hands into prayer pose at the heart center and give thanks today for the wisdom of the body. The body is really the game player for all the different modalities of action that we live in and we study. They're all the clothing on top of this instrument of life that we have, and really the knowledge sits right there in the cellular structure of who we are. So let's honor it, honor ourselves, honor all the great teachings that have come through civilization to allow us to study, evolve, and bring consciousness to who we are. And let's ask to keep being open, keep a beginner's mind, and always be willing to shift and open to new things so that we keep growing, we keep evolving, and we find the joy of being conscious as we pursue through life. Take a deep breath in. Bring the hands up to the forehead or third eye to anchor this in. Bring your hands down to your lips for a kiss. Bring your hands back down to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May the mind always be the servant of your heart. And then lift your head and open your eyes and namaste, everybody. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. And